Hello everyone, I am Shupatra Panchal, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, BADSVP Dr. PG Halakatti College of Engineering and Technology. In today's session, I am going to discuss about classes and methods. So in previous sessions already we have discussed something about classes and objects, classes and functions, and finally in today's session we are going to discuss about classes and methods. So before going to implement some of the features using methods and classes, so we'll discuss object-oriented features. So what are object-oriented features? Python is an object-oriented programming language, which means that it provides features that support object-oriented programming, which has these defining characteristics. Programs include class and method definitions. Most of the computation is expressed in terms of operations on objects. Objects often represent things in the real world, and methods often correspond to the ways things in the real world interact. Method. So, what is actually a method? A method is a function that is associated with a particular class. Methods are semantically the same as functions, but there are two syntactic differences. So, in Java, in C++, as well as in Python, the functions are called as methods. So only the naming. So both methods as well as functions are same. Methods are defined inside a class definition in order to make the relationship between the class and the method explicit. The syntax for invoking a method is different from the syntax for calling a function. So already in the previous session we have discussed how to print objects. So we have defined one class called as time, and we have defined one function, that is method, called as print underscore time, with the object called as time. Then we will be defining hour, minute and seconds in a specified format. So how we call, so assume that this is a method here, print underscore time is a method. So how we are supposed to call this method with reference to classes. So two ways to call functions. One is function syntax, second one is method syntax. So what is actually that? By convention, the first parameter of a method is called self. The reason for this convention is an implicit metaphor. That's what the function syntax. The syntax for function call print underscore time with the particular argument suggests that the function is the active agent. It says something like, hey, print underscore time, here is an object for you to print. In object oriented programming, the objects are the active agents. A method invocation like start dot print underscore time says, hey start, please print yourself. So that's what the while calling the function and while calling the method, it differentiates. So that is what the only one difference between function and method while invoking it. So now let's go to the previous examples only. So we'll modify the previous examples, that what we have discussed, that is a time factor. Rewrite the version of increment function as a method. So here you can see we will be defining one method called as increment, which takes two parameters, that is self comma second. Self is nothing but it takes the same object, that is the invoking. It similarly looks like this pointer in Java and C++. So seconds, so what we have to do is in this increments, we have to increment seconds as well as we have to return that time. Seconds equal to seconds plus self dot time underscore to int. So we have to convert that into integer. Then finally we have to return it in the form of seconds. Return into time of seconds. So there is one more special method which is actually a built-in in Python. So that is init method. So how we are supposed to use that init method in Python? The init method, short for initialization, is a special method that gets invoked when an object is instantiated. Its full name is underscore init underscore. So you have to write as it is. So that is what it's a built-in method. Two underscore characters followed by init, and then two more underscores. That is how you can write the init method syntax. So we have to define. So how this method is defined? def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, then we have to pass the parameters. The first parameter is self, that is the self object itself. Then second parameter is hour, third is minute, and fourth parameter is seconds. So what we have to do is, here we are not creating the object separately as time equal to time, but here instead of that we are directly passing self as an object. It takes the same class object, self dot hour equal to hour, self dot minute equal to minute, self dot second equal to second. That is how it is nothing but in the form of constructor. As an exercise, write an init method for the point class that we have discussed in classes and objects. That how we need to create the point classes, and we have defined the two coordinates for that. So that program you have to modify using the init method. Write an init method for the point class that takes x and y as optional parameters and assigns them to the corresponding attributes. Along with init method, in Python we have one more method called as underscore underscore str underscore underscore. So this method is a special method like underscore underscore init underscore underscore, that is supposed to return a string representation of an object. So here is an example how we write that function, that is how we write that method, that is a string method with a parameter called as self. So here we are returning returning with the format specifiers, that is in the form of hour, minute, and second. So when you print an object, Python invokes the str method. Time equal to, that we have to call that constructor time of, that is, it is just like in the form of parameterized constructor in Java. Time equal to time of 9, 4. So then after that we have to print time. So once again the same output you are going to get it, that is time will be printed in the form of start to duration, that is the end duration. As an exercise, as an exercise we will be giving one more example in str. Write a str method for the point class, create a point object and print it. Very simple program. So next, something about operator overloading. So what is actually that operator overloading? So here we will explain directly with the example. So here there is one more method called as underscore underscore add underscore underscore, and for that two objects are passed. One is the own class object, that is self, and another one is the other objects. So what we have to do is we have to use both for self as well as other. We will be converting time object to integer, and that will be assigned to seconds. Then finally we will be returning int to time, that is in the form of seconds. And here is how you could use it. So time start equal to time of 9, 4, that is in the form of self and other, you have to pass it. Then one more object called as duration equal to time of 1, 35. Then finally you can print it easily using what? Print of start plus duration, so that time will be displayed accordingly. So that is what the concept known as operator overloading. Similarly, we have one more concept called as type based dispatch. So at certain point of execution, which type of method we want that particular method to be released. So that is what we can call it as a type based dispatch. So here once again the same function is written, add method with the two parameters self and other. So and inside that function we will be giving two conditions. If each instance of other comma time, then return self dot add. So we will be adding the other class object, else we will be incrementing the other class object. So that is what the function. So how to call that? Along with that we will be defining so actually here we have called two methods, add underscore time and increment. We have to define that add underscore time and increment with the two parameters self comma other. Seconds equal to self dot time underscore 2 underscore int plus other dot time underscore 2 underscore int. Then we will be returning into time in seconds. And finally similarly we have to write increment also. And lastly we are going to discuss something about polymorphism. So what is actually the polymorphism is? Polymorphism is what? Functions that work with several types are called polymorphism. So here there is one example. So many of the functions written for strings also work for other sequence types. So we will be defining one function called as histogram of yes, d equal to dict. So dict is a dictionary. So we will be creating one empty dictionary that will be assigned to d. Then we will be accessing those in the form of for loop. For c in s, if c not in d, then we will assign the dictionary content. We'll assign 1 to the dictionary content. Otherwise we'll increment that dictionary content by 1 and we'll assign 1 to that dictionary content, that is dc equal to d of c equal to d of c plus 1, and finally we'll return d. So that is the dictionary content. So based on that dictionary we'll be creating a histogram. Say for example we'll create one dictionary here, t equal to that is some variables are there, spam, egg, spam, right? These are all different variables. So we'll be calling that histogram of t. Then it will separate, I think, how many times that spam has occurred, how many times that egg has occurred in that dictionary, and how many times that bacon has occurred. So bacon 1 time, egg 1 time, and spam 4 times, like that. So like this we can use the same polymorphism concepts for list, tuples, and even dictionaries. Functions that work with several types are called as polymorphic. Polymorphism can facilitate code reuse. So in the next concept, actually interface and implementation, that will be discussed in the next session. So any queries you can raise at any time. So thank you.